Okay, today is October 8th. I'm here with Elizabeth S. Asking questions about her life. So, before we start, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Elizabeth. I am 52 years old. Or is it 51? Anyhow, it doesn't matter after 50, honestly. I am a mother of 5. I work full time, always have, and with a pretty hectic schedule.
Okay, well, good to meet you. And we can just go ahead and dive right into the main questions after that.
Okay.
I guess what I want to ask is, what are you most passionate about?
That's a hard one. Especially because I never was one of those type of people that knew immediately what they wanted to do when they were gonna be grown up. So I can say what I like currently doing. I like helping others. I consider that myself to have a servant's heart, which is a gift, especially nowadays, since it's all about me, 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 me. In Spanish, we call that san yo-yo. So that is probably what I have grown to acknowledge as a gift that I have, is just assisting others, not necessarily with any specific area. It could be something just as simple as listening to as simple as sharing an personal experience with. Something else that I enjoy doing. That's why I don't consider myself having just one specific or important passion over others. I enjoy playing sports with my kids, whether it's, I don't know, volleyball, catching, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's good to hear that you're passionate about your family and that you do have hobbies that you can bond with them over. I guess I wonder, like, before you had, you know, started to build your family, what really drove you to want to be successful?
I guess growing up, being an important detail about me is that I am first generation of Mexican parents who came over to this country illegally for the sake of survival, not necessarily to come and get a education or kind of strive to be like the Jones and keeping up with the Jones. No, it's just all about surviving, having some things to their names. So being a first generation born and raised here was a little bit challenging. I kept a lot of my traditions because of my grandmother. My parents worked, so my grandmother was the one who was always caring for me and my sibling and my uncle. So as far as goals, I really didn't have any. When I was little in elementary school, I did enjoy being a student, so I always kind of thought I was going to be a teacher. However, that's not the path that I took.
So, would you say that you're in a place that you're satisfied, or do you feel that there's still more that you have left to do?
I have both. I have a combination of some things that I want to do that I still need to do, and there is satisfaction as well. So right after high school, I don't even know how, but I asked and I found out through my school. It was a senior trip. If there was a group of people with a couple teachers going to Europe, and I posed the question to my parents, and they said, yes, I can go. However, at that time, as a senior, I was working already, so pretty much I paid for my own trip. I don't remember how much it cost, but it was probably costly. But I see that as one of an item that was in my young years successful. I know a lot of people my age, that are different ethnic group who have never been to Europe. So I kind of consider myself blessed in that sense that I've been there.
Thinking about how you've traveled to different places, especially to Europe, and being from the US, what would you say is something in a different part of the world that really changed your perspective on life?
Okay, well, first off, I ended up going with teachers that I didn't know, a group of kids that I didn't know. So just the fact that I was okay not knowing anybody, things work out. You don't have to do things with people you know. You can move forward without having to rely on somebody else or wanting to do things but not being confident enough because you don't know someone. So I guess my advice or my experience is that it was neat to see another part of the world, people speaking different languages. I never took German, so I had no idea what they were talking about. That was one of the countries we visited. London, of course, it's English. France. I did 3 years in high school of French, so I kind of consider myself not 100% fluent. However, I could understand for the most part, especially because I speak Spanish and there's a lot of similar words. I really enjoyed, out of the 5 different countries that I went to, let's see, it was France, Germany, Switzerland, London, Austria. Out of all of those, the one that I really enjoyed the most was Switzerland. I do not remember, however, the language, but I consider that country really beautiful. And I don't know if it was the time of the year, but it was very, very homey. It wasn't like super touristy like Paris or London. So the greenery is what impacted me the most there. Seeing other cultures, even though we were just there for brief, we weren't really able to mingle or actually see up close their culture. But I consider myself somebody who appreciates other cultures. I love listening to other types of music, not necessarily English or Spanish. So seeing other cultures and seeing what beauty and how we have so many things that are similar except with a tad of something different. So for example, food. We all use potatoes, we all use meat. However, what makes it unique is the spices. That's what differs from one ethnic group to another.
Thinking about how in a like story sense. The spices can kind of be talked about like as people. Different pieces, different flavors create different cultures. It makes me curious, like, what skill do you think during your lifetime really served you the best in being able to want to experience different things rather than just staying in my way or the highway?
I guess growing up and not doing too many things. As an adult, I want to try things. And by trying, you're going to figure out if you like it or you don't like it, whether it's food, whether it's a class, whether it's a sport. That's how you kind of narrow down what you like, what you don't like. So now that I can do a lot of things, that's one of the things that I encourage my kids to do. Try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but at least you know you don't like it.
Now, thinking about kind of like being able to explore those different things and those different skills that you've developed for yourself, I wonder if you could say that you do one thing better than everyone else around you, what would that one thing be?
Let's see if I could do something better than others around me. Perhaps I think this is a skill nowadays. I'm okay not being entertained with a device. Even though sometimes I feel that draw to open your phone, look at something, read something. At the same time, I've come to a realization that because we're so used to getting quick results, whether you're searching something, whether you're browsing, whether, anything related to work, web browser, Google, whatever it is, if it doesn't come quick, I'm okay. Most of the time when it doesn't give me or it doesn't respond quick enough, I just exit and then just switch. But my main response was going to be that it's okay to be staring at the trees, at the cars, at the people, and just sitting there. I will say it's not easy because our brains nowadays are always, you got to do this, you got to do that. You haven't done this, you haven't done that. Oh, I forgot something. Oh, what was it? What was it? And so you're like constantly thinking this task list. But not too long ago, I heard this and don't remember where exactly. Oh, okay, I remember. From this priest podcast I was listening to, that we have to remind ourselves we are human beings, we're not human doings. And that's something that is just very fresh right now with me. And I have to cut myself some slack if I didn't check off, 12 things. I only did 3 or 4. It just depends on the matter or the task itself. So it's okay not to do anything.
I respect that talent, especially because it's hard to come by.
And you don't analyze it unless you're being asked like I am right now.
That was my final question. And with that, I want to say thank you for your time. And we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you for the opportunity of sharing my experience.